Welcome to Yoga Mo-Flo. I'm Heather, the creator of Yoga Mo-Flo. I designed Yoga Mo-Flo because I wasn't getting the results I wanted with my regular yoga practice. I am a 200-hour certified yoga instructor. So what I did is I incorporated some of my favorite mobility drills that I like into yoga practice, and this is giving me a more well-rounded workout, and so that's what I've created for you. I have my helper here today, Hinny Ruru. Hopefully he'll be good while we continue through our practice. This is an upper body focused flow. So we're really going to work on strengthening the upper body, doing lots of pushing motion, and I hope you have fun with this, but because it's Yoga Mo-Flo, we are going to incorporate our core and our legs. It's always total body, but just with a nice emphasis on the upper body. So to start, I invite you to come down to your mat. That's all you're going to need, and that's all you ever need for a Yoga Mo-Flo workout. And go ahead and find your hero's pose here. And we're going to start warming up the upper body with just some shoulder rolls. So we're going to roll it back. Should feel nice, opening up through the chest. You'll come to find as you continue on this Yoga Mo-Flo journey with me that you're never going to need weights to get your body nice and toned. You just don't. Let's go ahead and go forward. Your body weight is enough. You know, you think about how much you weigh and think about pushing that up or pulling that up. That's a lot more than like a 15-pound dumbbell, right? So, and it also just incorporates a lot more of your muscles. So you really want to have that total body integration, and that's what using your own body weight does for you. From here, let's go ahead and put our hands on our shoulders and do some big giant elbow rolls here. See if you can actually touch your wrists behind your neck, and that'll really get you a wide range of motion. That is something else we do here at Yoga Mo-Flo with our mobility work and our yoga, is getting really big movements, wide ranges of motion. And that's really wonderful because, let's go ahead and reverse that. When you have those big ranges of movement, you're utilizing big muscle groups, working the body together in conjunction. And for me, that really helps my self-confidence. It also makes my comfort zone in the world huge. There's a lot I can do because there's a lot I want to do. All right, let's go ahead and release that. From here, we're going to do some arm circles. So let's take our arms out to the side and circle them forward. You'll find that you don't need weights to feel this. And you may not be feeling it yet, but I think you'll be feeling it in a few minutes. Your arm is a heavy enough weight. You don't need to put something in your hand at the end of it. And then go ahead and go the other direction. We're going to go backwards in our arm circles. Keep going. You're doing great. We're getting warmed up. From here, we're going to do something I call angel wing press backs. So go ahead and straighten your elbows and start taking your arms behind you, not coming too far forward, really trying to keep those elbows straight. Okay, so now I'm really starting to feel this. So this is telling me I'm toning, I'm shaping everything up, I'm really opening up my chest. This is a heart opener too, it feels good. And we're really toning the back of those shoulders, or deltoids. And if you're feeling it now, you know you don't need weights. Okay, we've got one last little warm-up exercise here, and I call them, continuing in our prayer theme, calling these prayer push-ups or press-ups. So we just put our hands in prayer, and we're just lifting and lowering, not a huge range of motion here, from our shoulder. You should feel this. This is warming up the shoulder joints. You should also feel it in your pectorals. That's the chest. We're not here forever. We're just going to do a few more. And let's release that. From here, let's go ahead and find our tabletop. because we are going to have a push-up sequence here, let's go ahead and stretch out our wrists. So I'm going to tuck my toes under and sit back on my toes and turn my hands so that my fingers face my knees and stretch out the wrist. This feels nice. You can bend the elbows one at a time, really feeling a nice stretch through the wrist. And this is really great for any sort of repetitive finger motion you do, or if you work at a computer all day. Feels wonderful. One more wrist stretch. Come up to tabletop here. And you can do this one at a time, or you can do both hands at a time. It's up to you what feels best. But we're going to come on the back side of our hand, and you might want to do one at a time here and switch it out to the other. Or you might want to go ahead and do both at the same time. From here, we're going to do our cat-cow in this wrist motion. So we're going to drop our belly, lift our gaze. There goes Roo. And round our backs. Into cat. Back to cow. Release to cat. You can also match the movement to the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Very good. Let's go ahead and release that. Sit back on our toes. Shake out our wrists. And we're going to come to our first set of push-ups. These first push-ups are going to be chaturanga push-ups. I'm going to do them on my knees. If you can do them on your toes, that's great. I'm still a work in progress, so this is enough of a challenge for me. And from our chaturanga push-ups, don't cross your feet because that actually throws off the torque of your hips. We want to keep it level. You're just going to bend your elbows at a 90-degree angle, like so, and we're going to do 8 of these. So that's 7, 6, 5, 4, here's 3, 2, 1. Pausing at the top. From here, we're going to do some slow lowers, but for those, I'm actually going to come up on my toes. So that same chaturanga motion, but lowering slowly to the ground. And then you just get up however you can. We're only going to do 4 of these. But going slow is a really great way to build strength because you're fighting gravity. You're resisting gravity here. That was the last one. Let's go ahead and find a child's pose. So spread the knees wide. Come on back, take a rest. Just a few breaths here. You'll notice that doing this work also gets your heart rate up. And that's a good thing. And as a bonus, here we're doing wide arm push-ups. So same kind of knee stance, but take your hands as wide as your mat, and we're going to do 8 down and up. Just as an extra little bonus, when you do work like this too, that you're not isolating muscles, but using groups of muscles. Here's 4. You're getting some bonus core work. Last 2 and 1. From here, we're going to do the slow lowers. So come up on the toes and let's slowly lower for 4. Getting up however you want. Last one. Let's go back to that child's pose. And rest. Catch your breath. You're getting your heart rate up too. Should feel good. So we don't really have to do cardio to get fit. When you're using your body weight and your muscles in this way, you're getting your cardio exercise too. So from here, in our last little push-up sequence here, we're going to do staggered push-ups. So I'm going to take my right hand forward, my left back. We're going to do 8 of these and switch. So now my left hand is forward. That's 2. There's 6. We've got 2 more. Last one. Well done. From here, let's go ahead and find our way into our downward dog. So here's your first dog. You can pedal out the heels. A lot of times we don't think of our downward dog as a resting pose, but it actually is a resting pose. And you can tell it's a resting pose right now. After doing that work, this does feel like a little bit of a respite. And it is designed that way because we're going to go into a little twist here as just a little break, a little oasis from that upper body work. So go ahead and grab whatever you can on your left leg with your right hand and turn and look under that arm. Just doing a nice twist. A little break. Then go ahead and set down the right hand and let's go ahead and twist to the other side. So grabbing whatever we can with our left hand, looking under our right arm, twisting, it should feel good. Coming back to our downward dog. From here, you can put your knees down. We're going to go into a puppy pose, which is a nice shoulder stretch. So we walk our hands forward, our knees back, and then go ahead and drop the forehead to the ground. You can keep your arms bright and active if that feels good for you, but I'm going to do more of a yin style and rest my forearms on the ground. It's just more of a rest. Still getting all the benefits of that stretch in the upper body and the shoulder area and upper back. I'm surprised for puppy pose, Rue didn't come over here. But he's staying on his pillow by the camera. Go ahead and come back out, find your way back to a downward dog. Now what we're going to do is some tricep focused work. We're going to drop from our down dog into a dolphin pose and we're going to do it 8 times. So try to get your elbows down at the same time, but when we come up, we'll lift the left first and then we'll lift the right first. Ideally, you want to be able to lift them both up at the same time. That's still a real challenge for me, so I'm building up to it. But this is a nice way to build strength to maybe get to that point in the future. Here's our last 2 and our last one. Up, go ahead, here you are in your down dog. Go ahead and walk to the top of your mat. From here, let's do a forward lift. You can put your hands on your shins if that feels good. And then forward fold. Go ahead and sweep the arms overhead. Palms kiss. Bringing them down to the heart. From here, adjust your stance, adjust your clothing or your hair, whatever you need to do. We're going to do another little tricep burnout move. So you're going to come into your chair pose or a little baby squat, taking the arms behind you, and we're just going to start to pulse. We're here for about a minute. So really working those triceps. You should feel this tomorrow. Leave me a comment if you do or don't. Let me know how this felt for you. This is a workout you can do 2 or 3 days a week, but take a rest day in between so that way you're not burning out these muscles, but it's a really great way to build strength. The one thing that we don't have in Yoga Mo-Flo has a ton of pushing, but we don't really have a pulling motion, which you need to balance out your upper body strength. For that, I actually do pull-ups. And if you look in the links below, I've linked to my video on how you can get your first pull-up, how I got mine. And I'll show you how to do that. Just a few more seconds. We're not here forever, and then we get a break with our arms. And release. From here, let's take our feet as wide as our yoga mat with our toes pointed out. We're going to do some squats. These are yogi squats, or sometimes they call them ass to the grass, because we're going to drop our booties all the way down to the floor. We're doing 8 of them. I'm going to keep my hands in prayer. Make sure your knees are tracking over your toes to protect that knee joint, and go ahead and drop it on down. You might hear some snap, crackle, pop from your knees. Mine just did that. My ankles do that too for some reason. It's not dangerous, but they just do it. This is the last one here. Come all the way down and hold it in your yogi squat. Try to not collapse in the back. Chest open. You can use your knees here to hold it open, and we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So another little oasis in the middle of the workout. It's a bind. If binds are not in your practice, that's cool. Go ahead and take your left hand out, raising your right arm to the sky. That's the modification. If you're into binds and you like them, go ahead and wrap that left hand around your left leg, clasping it with the right hand, and twisting over to the right. Opening up the shoulders. It should feel good. And release. Let's do that same thing on the other side. Again, take your modification if you need it. Otherwise, wrap your right hand around, grasping it with your left, opening up that shoulder. From here, let's go ahead and release. Let's put our hands flat on the mat, lift ourselves up, keeping our feet wide, and come into our ragdoll fold. So grabbing opposite elbows and just swaying side to side here. I like to have these little oases or breaks built into the workout. To me, it just makes it a little bit more enjoyable, knowing that I have a little respite coming, a little break to catch my breath. From here, let's place our hands down and walk out into a nice, strong, solid plank, not letting the belly drop down, but lifting up, pushing away from the floor, and we're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming forward on the toes. We're going to slow lower for 10, 9, 8. I know it's hard. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting all the way down onto the mat. Keeping our hands where they are. Oh, hi, Rue. We're going to do one arm push-ups, but not G.I. Jane style. We're going to do a Yoga Mo-Flo style. So, putting our weight into our left hand, looking over the left shoulder, coming back down, switching to the right. Looking over the right. We're doing 10. So here we are with 3. Here's 5. This is our last little push. So give it everything you have. After this, we're stretching, which is going to feel awesome. Last 2. Last 1. And release. Go ahead and bring your forearms down onto your mat, lifting up to our Sphinx pose. Stretching out the abdominals. That should feel good. If it feels good on your lower back and you like it, you can press up into seal, get a little bit deeper stretch, or you can just keep it right here in Sphinx. Bringing down the heart rate. We're just going to stretch out the arms now, stretch out the shoulders. Let's go ahead and slide that left hand a little bit forward, threading the right arm underneath, dropping our forehead onto the mat, breathing and just feeling a nice stretch through that right shoulder. Let's go ahead and release and switch. Threading that left arm underneath, dropping the forehead down, and breathe. You've earned this stretch. That was not an easy upper body workout, but you did it. So all this release right now should feel really, really good. And release. Go ahead and push yourself back up, however you can get there to your hero's pose. Sitting on your mat. And let's stretch out our triceps. They really worked hard for you today, so I'm going to take bend my right elbow behind me, holding on with my left hand to my right elbow, and really giving that a nice pull down the center of my back, stretching out that right tricep. That should feel good. They did work hard for you today. Then go ahead and release. Let's switch. So grabbing onto that left elbow, stretching out the left tricep. From here, let's stretch out our chest. Let's clasp our hands behind our back, and if you can, straighten your elbows, open the chest. You can even look up to the sky. A nice heart opener. Deep breaths through the nose. You did it. Let's go ahead and release. Let's come down onto our backs. I'm just going to slide over onto my right hips and kick my feet out in front of me, finding my way to my back on my mat. Just one last little twist. Go ahead and open your arms to a T, palms down. I'm going to bump my hips over to the right, crossing my right knee on top of my left, and then letting my knees fall to the left, looking over the right shoulder, getting a nice twist through the spine. And relax. Then go ahead and release. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So pop those hips all the way over to the left, crossing the left knee on top of the right, and dropping the knees over to the right, looking over our left shoulder. Your spines are really meant to move in all directions. They really love that movement. So let's give our spines what they crave. Then go ahead and release and find your way into your Shavasana. Go ahead and take your feet as wide as your mat. You can let your feet flop open, taking your hands away from you, palms up, letting them gently rest on the floor, softly closing your eyes, letting your breathing normalize. We're only here for a minute or two. I want to encourage you not to skip this. This is when you take all of that hard work you just did and let it assimilate into the body tissues. Also, just feel the weight of your body pressing into the earth and letting the earth support you. Let's do one full body stretch before we're done. Let's lift our arms over our head, stretching out through our legs, through our abdominals, through our shoulders. Stretch it all out. Then go ahead and roll to one side, pausing in your fetal position. And using the strength of your arms, if they're not total jelly, to push yourself up into a seat. coming to rest on your mat in a seat, go ahead and just close your eyes for just a moment. See if you notice your body feeling any different now than it did at the start of class. Maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed, a little more open. And then go ahead and take your palms to your heart, bowing your head, thanking your body, showing gratitude for all it does for you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today at Yoga Mo-Flo. Please leave any comments or suggestions you have below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't ever miss a workout, and I'll see you next time.